Hi everyone, my name's Simon. Welcome to another episode of the Maserati Guy. So before we start today's video, if you haven't subscribed, please do. You can subscribe down the big red button there. Don't forget to click the little notification bell. Be great to have you subscribe. The more subscribers I can get, the more videos I can make. So thanks in advance for that. So in this episode, we're going to look at the 5 things that I dislike about the C63. Now look, I should be honest here, there's nothing I really dislike about it. I think it's a fantastic car. I'm enjoying every minute I drive it. But there are some little niggling irritations, which I think you get with any car, but here are my 5 dislikes about the C63. So the first thing I dislike about the C63 is the fuel consumption. It drinks gas stations whole. If you mash it a bit on the accelerator pedal, it will drink entire oil fields whole. I'm averaging about 20 litres per 100 kilometres, which works out to be roughly 12 miles per gallon. Fair enough, I guess. It does have a 6.2 litre engine. It does encourage you to drive it aggressively and with involvement, and that's part of the fun of owning one of these cars. The second thing I dislike about the C63 is the ride quality. It's a bit on the firm side. I mean, it's not bone-jarringly firm, but it's set up to be a sports car. It's set up to have a firm suspension, so you limit that body roll. But the reality is that on terrible Australian roads, it can be a bit tiresome. On decent tarmac, it's fantastic, it's smooth, but on the terrible potholed roads we have in Australia, it's a bit of a drag. The third thing I dislike about the C63 is the interior rattles and shakes. This is kind of linked to the last one about the firm suspension, because I think what that does is it rattles a lot of the trim loose. So the window switches on the driver's side door will rattle. There's rattling from the trim in the center console, little squeaks and rattles. Goes with the territory, I guess. A little bit annoying. Not quite as good as the Audi maybe in terms of rattles and squeaks, but the general construction of the interior is, I think, a notch above the Audi RS5, so I'm not complaining too much about that. The fourth thing I dislike about this car is the rear headroom. The sloping coupe design at the back does limit that rear headroom a little bit, because it's a fantastic look for the car, but it does mean that you have a little bit less headroom in the back than even in the RS5 with the cabrio top. This cut-off coupe design just does limit that headroom a little bit. The fifth and final thing I dislike a little bit about the C63 is the exhaust pipes at the rear. They protrude a little bit, and I have actually managed to scrape the bottom on a particularly steep driveway. And within the first couple of days of owning it, I managed to give myself a really nasty burn on my leg from the hot exhaust. Again, it's no big deal. It's one of those things that you just have to get used to, but it's a little irritation. But you know, at the end of the day, when it looks and sounds like this, who cares? Well, thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that little video about the 5 things I dislike, brackets slightly, close brackets, about the C63. The 7 things I love about it far outweigh those 5. I'll put a link to that video up there. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to give the like a click. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and that notification bell. You can follow me on Instagram at Maserati Guy 2017. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.